Hello, today I'm going to talk about cell history and cell theory lecture. So the first thing that we have here is a pretty typical diagram of both plant and animal cells. And what we see is in each particular cell, there's a whole bunch of labeled parts. You can kind of think about these like organs in the human body. Each one of these items has a function, and it does something like the heart is pumping blood around the body. Each one of these organelles in the cell has a function. So the individual unit of living organisms are cells. Cells and the parts that make up cells have specific structure for specific purposes. And then down here we have an image, a drawing from the 1600s of the first time somebody recognized or named a cell. You know, we couldn't see them until we had microscopes or lenses that could zoom in to that level of detail. Cells were first viewed under a microscope in 1665 by Robert Hooke. Hooke was looking at plant cells, and their shape reminded him of small rooms in a monastery, thus the name cell. And you can see it here. In plant cells, these are all lined up real nice and even, and it was very easy to distinguish the individual cells. All right, let's keep going. We have some more drawings here. In this case, it's not just plant cells, but we're getting into a lot of different types of single-celled organisms and a lot of creatures here, actually. Just a few years later, in 1674, Anton van Leeuwenhoek used superior microscope lenses to observe cells in greater detail. So he's able to see much more clearly what he's looking at compared to Robert Hooke. He drew many different single-celled organisms that he found in a drop of pond water. Pond water is like a really regular source of looking at single-celled organisms or microscopic organisms. And then we come down here to some more drawings, but this is actually going to be much later. So maybe like 150 years later now. Jumping ahead to 1838, Matthias Schleiden used a microscope to study plants. So we're back at looking at plants again. He concluded that plants were entirely made up of cells in one form or another. When sharing his work, another scientist, Theodor Schwann, determined that animals are similarly made up of cells. So both these guys said, okay, plants completely made up of cells no matter where you look on the plant. Theodor Schwann said the same thing about animals. No matter where you look on the animal, you can find the animal being made up of cells. Okay, last one here. Yet again, another drawing, and these are all the actual drawings from the scientists that we're talking about. In 1855, so not much later, Rudolf Virchow observed cells going through the process of division. So this is when cells, you get one cell and it divides into two cells. He was the first to conclude that all cells came from pre-existing cells. Now, this is a modern image of cells, and you can see that they have different colors. These are all microbiology techniques that can be used today to view cells in greater detail. So this is an actual image from professional microscopes. Once all of these discoveries were collected into one concept, scientists pushed a new principle of biology, the cell theory. 1, all organisms are made of cells. 2, all existing cells are made from other living cells. And 3, The cell is the basic unit of life. All right, I hope that answers some of your initial questions. Let me know if I can elaborate. Thanks. Bye.